Okay, well, I want to thank you all for letting me speak here today. First off, I want to say how pleased I am to be part of such an informed, passionate, and active group of people. Secondly, I want to say how incredibly disappointed I am that we're here alone. It is sad in this time, in this period, that we are sitting here talking to ourselves. We just had an amazing story told by Earl. And Earl's story, he talks about how he did it through organizing together and stuff. He did it because he had a plan. He got something done because not only did he say there's an issue, he says here's the way we're going to solve this issue. He had a solution for people. The Tea Party membership, well, at least turnouts, are going down. They're going down, I propose, because they don't have solutions. They're just getting together to complain about what's going on. If we don't have solutions, people aren't going to come here. People will leave. My role as the policy researcher, which I certainly hope a lot more of you will join me in that role, is to give tools that you can use to reach out to people. I want to spread the principles of personal liberty and state sovereignty. I want to get liberty-minded people elected. And to do that, they have to have solutions. You're not going to elect somebody on principles alone. I mean, we will, but Kansas won't, America won't. You have to have some kind of solution. And I want to make our laws more consistent with those principles. And so we have to find a way to do that. We started out with the Kansas education system. I think that's probably the most daunting challenge facing the people of Kansas right now. I'm not going to preach to the choir here. We all know the education system in Kansas has some problems. It's not as effective as we would like it to be. It's certainly more expensive than we would like it to be. And I know that there are some people in this room that's ready to do away with the public education system. We're not going to get that done. It's not an electable thing. It's not a change that's going to happen. We have to make some changes that start to introduce the principles of liberty and start to move us toward that. With the Kansas Education Liberty Act, I didn't write this from scratch. This emulates 18 school choice programs from around the country. We took the best ideas that are working in other states right now, and we stole them and reworked them and put our principles, our character in this bill. And I really think that this is something that's going to appeal to everybody and is going to make a change here in Kansas. Let me give you a basic overview of what we're doing here. The Kansas Education Liberty Act allows individuals and corporations, companies, businesses, to contribute to new nonprofit organizations, to private nonprofit organizations. They're going to give scholarships to individual students. Those students can use those scholarships on any education choice that's available out there. They can use it to go to private schools. They can use it to move to a public school outside a district. They can use it for homeschooling. They can use it for religious schools, or they can use it for non-religious schools. I don't care. That is a personal choice. This bill moves the responsibility for education back to parents. It gives parents the choice of where their children are educated. For the last 50 years, we've told parents that the government will give your child a free education. And not only that, they're responsible for giving your child a free education. In the world we live in right now, 30% of new teachers drop out of the teaching education in the first 5 years. In a recent poll, the number one reason for dissatisfaction is lack of parental involvement. This bill gives parental involvement back to us. It will help us get people elected. What I hope to do with something like this is have this as available for a tool for all of you. If you don't personally agree with it, don't use it as a tool. I don't want to have a state policy that says that everything that we write is something that you personally have to go out there and use. But if you're running for office, if you can stand in front of a group of people and say, I have a tool here, I have a solution for education, I'm not just going to stand there and say that we have to cut spending. I'm saying that we're going to reduce spending with this bill. The way this bill's set up, we spend $12,225 on every student in the public school system. These scholarships are limited to a very small portion of that. So for every kid that opts out of the public school system and into a private school system with one of these scholarships, we are going to save at least $2,600 as a state. And then the local government and the federal government has an opportunity to save up to $5,000 more, depending on how they calculate what they're spending on education. We will save money with this bill. A lot of people argue that there's not enough other choices for education out there right now. This is a free market bill. If I have, even in a small town, if I have 10 or 15 kids that opt out of the public school system, somebody will start a private school to get those scholarship dollars. I mean, the free market will fill the needs that we have. Right now we have a system where it serves a portion of our students pretty well. And we can argue about what portion that is. But a lot of our students are not getting what they need. We need to talk as libertarians that we want these students to have the liberty to find a system that works for them. This means that our best students and our worst students have an option to find an education setting that really does work for them. Should we go through some numbers of this?
Yeah.
Okay. In the state of Florida has 8 different school choice programs. They're really aimed at individual kids. Some of them are for autism, some of them are for troubled kids, some of them are for all different kinds of things. The bill that I've written applies to all students. 11% of the students in Florida are taking advantage of a school choice program in some way, a scholarship-based school choice program. In the state of Kansas, we got 11% of our students to opt out of the public system and take these scholarships. We would save about $135 million a year. It's huge. The numbers just add up and up and up. For every kid that drops out of the system, there's all kinds of studies that they make about $10,000 less a year than somebody with a traditional high school diploma. If we save those kids, if we give them an option, and they don't have to be traditional skills. For the kid who never is going to be a businessman, give him the opportunity to take his scholarship money and go down to the tech school and learn how to be a welder. Give him a skill so he can take care of himself. So we don't have to be responsible for him for the rest of his life. I have 3 or 4 other policies that I really want to work on and just have tools. And I'm doing the stuff that I'm passionate about. If you have ideas that you're passionate for, that are going to be tools for our candidates, for our individual members, you should contact me and toss them out. If I have a passion for them, I'll do them. If you have a passion for them, I'll point you in the right direction and let you write them. I'll help you. But we need to offer solutions. It's not enough just to stand on principle. Without solutions, nobody's going to listen to us. And we're not going to get anything done. Yes, sir.
What are some of your other ideas for bills or policies?